Here are 3 reasons why I'm still buying the native token of MultiversX called EGLD. Reason number 1 is because I still believe that it has a lot of room to grow, hypothetically speaking, even though nothing I say is financial advice nor a guarantee. Because just think about this, right? If, let's say, EGLD were to go to the price of $1,000, that right there is around a 44x from here. So you got to imagine that. Now, here's the thing. If, let's say, I were to put $1,000 into EGLD, and for instance, it were to hypothetically go to the price of $1,000, at that point, that $1,000 could very well become around $44,000. Now, that's not a guarantee by any means, but I'm just saying, I think that if anything showcases how when it comes to EGLD, the room for growth isn't so bad. It's not like a dinosaur, like an Ethereum, like a BNB, like a Solana, where it can't do over 20x during this bull run. You know what I mean? MultiversX, it's a big enough project where, it doesn't feel too risky because it's not a microcap, but at the same time, it's not so massive to the point that the room for growth is bad. A lot of people out there, they seem to think that, if it's not like a 100x minimum, that means it's trash. But I just disagree because I think, to be honest, anything over like a 10x is already very amazing. At least that's just the way I view it. Anything over 10x is just like a big bonus. So yeah, I don't think it's bad at all. Sometimes the way you take a look at it is that enough is enough. You know what I mean? Now, also on top of that, at the price of $1,000, it's not like the market cap would be crazy or something like that. Considering current circulating supply, market cap at that point would be around $28 billion. So it's actually kind of not that much in the grand scheme of things. Even despite being around 28 billion, people are like, well, what do you mean by this? You take a look at Shiba Inu, that one point reached around 40 billion. Dogecoin, back in 2021, reached over 80 billion. So this is kind of peanuts, really, in the grand scheme of things. That's just the way to take a look at it, especially when I consider how amazing EGLD is. If you take a look at it, there's still a lot of holders, a lot of people still believe in it. So I think that the race is far from over. And of course, that's one of the major reasons why I'm still buying EGLD, because not only do I think that the room for upside could be great, but at the same time, the community is amazing. So yeah, I'm not going to give up on it. Now, the second reason why I'm buying EGLD is because I believe that MultiversX is very amazing. I mean, just think about this, right? MultiversX is a highly scalable, secure, and fast blockchain network. And not to mention, it's even been stated that when it comes to MultiversX, they claim that they are the most advanced blockchain architecture in the world and the most impactful ecosystem spanning DeFi, NFTs, Web3, and the metaverse, which I think is very impressive. Now, before I move on to these markets and talk about what they're all about, so to speak, right, and their potential, people keep commenting and saying, oh, did you just call MultiversX a metaverse project? Absolutely not. The name is MultiversX, so I get why it kind of rhymes with metaverse, but I just don't get it why people would think it's a metaverse project. And by the way, if you're, wanting to hear what I say in a more clear way, you can always turn on the subtitles, so I think that's a great way to do that. And yeah, besides that point, MultiversX, again, is an amazing project. Again, it's a blockchain network, but then it has an ecosystem, again, spanning across the metaverse, DeFi, NFTs, and of course, maybe other markets as well. But I think you get what I mean there, right? It's not a metaverse project. It's not like a sandbox or Decentraland or whatever, but again, it's just a blockchain network that has an amazing ecosystem in those areas, if that makes sense. But even besides that point, I still think this is great news when it comes to MultiversX, just generally speaking, because if, for instance, you take a look at the metaverse, right? That right there is predicted to be worth $5 trillion, potentially in value by 2030, according to McKinsey. So that's crazy. Also, you take a look at DeFi, NFTs, both of those markets right there, according to something called Grandview Research, by 2030, again, their market size each individually is predicted to be worth over $200 billion. So combined, that's over $400 billion. That's insane to think about right there. That's bigger than some countries' GDP. That's very ridiculous. At least that's the way to take a look at it. So yeah, I don't think it's bad at all when it comes to MultiversX. Now, something else that I find very amazing when it comes to EGLD is that the staking ratio is very impressive. So I think if anything, it showcases that a lot of the holders still do believe in its future. They're not necessarily panic selling and, trying to day trade. But again, when I see a staking ratio that amazing, I like that. Not to mention, if you take a look at MultiversX, it's carbon neutral. So this is going to play to the benefit of it moving forward because, as we all know, enterprises nowadays, they want to go green. They want to showcase that they care about the environment. And what better way to do that other than adopting, let's say, something like MultiversX that is, carbon neutral. That's amazing. This is the forward-thinking mindset that MultiversX has. They understand that being good, that's okay, but we need to be better. Being carbon neutral, that's just the cherry on top. That's the icing on the cake. And as you all know, the icing is the best part of the cake, at least personally for me. But yeah, even besides that point, when I take a look at MultiversX, yes, it does have many good competitors out there. I totally understand that. But I do believe that it's very amazing from top to bottom, and I think it has amazing aspects. When I take a look at something this amazing, it's a no-brainer pick for me. And now the third and final reason why I'm still buying EGLD is because I do believe that this bull run could be so special. And as the old saying goes, a high tide raises all ships. So I think that when the bull run really is in fifth gear for altcoins, I think something like EGLD is naturally going to go along with the ride. Take this into consideration, right? There's over 600 million crypto owners, according to Crypto.com research, more than ever before in history. You take a look at the Bitcoin ETF, the Ethereum ETF, and also the amount of institutional investors and enterprise adoption, it's through the roof. So I think this bull run could be so amazing. Now, I don't think the peak of it is going to happen like tomorrow or something like that, but just around 6 months to a year from right now, I think we could very well see a totally different story. It's just a waiting game, so all I got to do is just stay patient, continue to dollar cost average, again, anytime an income, acquire, hold, and I just wait. That's it, because I think in 2025, things could be different. I think the sentiment could be different. I think the perception and I think the FOMO and buying pressure and buying volume could also be very different. So again, when a bull run could be that special and you combine that with the fantastic A+ fundamentals of MultiversX, EGLD reaching the price of $1,000 during this bull run, that right there wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. At least that's the way I take a look at it. Now, some people out there may think that, oh yeah, MultiversX doesn't advertise enough, all this type of stuff. Well, it doesn't need to. It's not a meme coin, right? They don't need to partner up with celebrities, athletes, even though that type of stuff may seem very fancy and cool and creates a lot of headlines. I totally understand that, but when it comes to projects like this that are actually serious, I think they'd much rather use that capital towards development, right? Towards building, towards improving, as opposed to gaining hyper fans, because they're not a meme coin. I get it, right? I am also bullish on meme coins and AI projects, but sometimes I think there's beauty in something like MultiversX. Not to mention, when people take a look at projects as of right now, primarily that are doing well are again, AI projects and meme coins. And they're saying, oh, wow, when is EGLD going to do this, do that? But in my opinion, again, eventually, the focus is going to shift around. It's going to move around. Again, as of right now, yes, meme coins and AI projects do have a lot of attention, but I think eventually it's going to trickle down to, things like EGLD, right? Also other projects as well. So I don't think that this is really the end of the world. I think there's still brighter days ahead. And again, I just give it some time. It's just a waiting game. I get it. It's kind of boring. It may sound kind of like, oh, what the heck is this? But, for the people out there that find it too boring, I've seen in some cases they day trade, they use leverage, they swing trade, but it just ends up being a disaster in a lot of cases. So I'm not going to do that. I get it. It's boring, but I'm waiting anyways, right? You know what I mean? And again, EGLD at the price of $1,000, or should I say $1,000 during this war run, wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.